Welcome to Good Thing, Bad Thing. Syntell had his phone on, and he's turning it off.
You're an idiot. See, man, you see the type of relationship we have. He always tries to catch me when I'm looking bad, but at least I didn't spill my beer. But we watch anime, and there's all kinds of crazy shit that, well, you're not as hardcore.
Yeah, I'm not as hardcore.
I watch anime, and there's some crazy shit that goes on in that, man.
I'm into Ponyo.
You keep saying stuff like that, I'm gonna make you start drinking beer with me.
Ponyo! Sasuke! I'm always cute. It was romantic. I wish I could carry Faye around with me in a bucket. I probably can. She's pretty short.
Oh my God. Here we go. It's your boy Syntell.
It's your boy, Jabi Koei, or Habe Koei.
Is that how it's pronounced? Habe?
No,
the J is silent.
No,
it's not silent.
In Mexico, it's silent.
I'm gonna change my name to Intel, and the S is gonna be silent.
So we're gonna kick this off with the comments. I have recently found your videos, and I have to say, I have become a great fan of you and your family. You guys are epic.
Hey, I'm a part of that family too, damn it.
I love me some BB-8. That little droid is amazing, and Anthony is right. You've got to think about what they could do with that kind of technology in the future. It is absolutely amazing, but to be totally honest, R2 will always be my favorite droid. And head transplant? Hell no. He like found a middle ground between both of us.
Yeah, because at first I'm like, you know what, damn him. He don't even know what he's talking about. Team R2, and then he shows love.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. He'd make a good politician. Anthony, are you gay? Not only is that comment short, it's edited. How dumb are you, Bass007?
Well, I think he wanted to put in there Uber gay and then just decided to take the Uber out.
Yeah, okay. How hard is it? How hard is it to write 4 fucking words that you have to edit it? God damn it.
Well, answer the question, Anthony.
Just because I don't want booty shots in my Fast and Furious.
Who don't like ass?
To the extent that they did it, a couple is fine.
Even gay men like ass.
Gay men? I thought gay men exclusively like ass.
No, they just like male ass, but I'm talking about anytime you see like the scantily clad little lady with the tats with her ass shaking.
I don't think gay men care for that.
Well, maybe not that.
Yeah.
Not that type of ass. It's different levels of ass. There's levels to this shit,
How dare you accuse me when I just put it out there that I watch RedTube? RedTube! I'm up there with Sam Jackson. He likes RedTube. Does Marcellus Wallace look like a bitch?
Does it like ass, Anthony?
And 7.5 for me. I liked the movie, but it definitely wasn't as perfect as I was hoping for. I completely agree with Syntell on almost everything. But my biggest problem with the movie was Ultron. He came across really scary and badass at the beginning of the movie, but as it progressed on, he became less and less intimidating.
That is true, though. That is true.
It is true, except for the part when he chopped the guy's arm off. That was pretty fucking scary.
No, that was more comical. And in the very beginning, when we first saw Ultron and he was all raggedy and he looked like a zombie, like a robot zombie, that was pretty terrifying.
I thought it was more scary when he chopped Gollum's arm off.
He was laughing about it.
That's why it was scary. He's like, oops, I didn't mean to do that. And it's like, it's funny, like, ha ha ha, ha. It's like, you know what I'm saying?
That's like Jason or Freddy chopping off somebody's arm and they're like, oh, sorry.
It's almost like you just met this girl, you're about to be intimate for the first time, and she goes, you got a nice big pecker, I want to marry you. And it's like, oh, wait, there's 2 things there. One's good and one's bad. That's a good thing and a bad thing. What I think a lot of casual moviegoers, shut the fucking thing off, dude.
I'm sorry, I can't help it, I'm beloved.
Fans don't want to admit this. The Marvel Cinematic Universe, specifically Joss Whedon Avengers films, is more and more trying to please the core comic reading fan base. Since Avengers Age of Ultron is Whedon's last Marvel film, the future directors could simply slow down the source material even more for casual moviegoers, myself included. Okay.
Yeah, it's more of a statement.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, when you're putting stuff up on the big screen, you've got to toe the line. You got to be able to appease people that don't know shit about the canon at all, and you also got to be able to appease the hardcore folks. One of those are going to be left disappointed. Yeah. At all times. And if you're really bad at what you do, both are going to be disappointed. And I think the Age of Ultron movie it was closer to the both for being disappointed. But then again, it's not a disappointing movie. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's just the bar was set so high on the first one. It just couldn't. It couldn't win. There's no way.
So I think this guy's talking in a Chinese accent. Tatsumi Soring, or Japanese accent.
Oh, you're racist.
Tatsumi Soring. I can do that, sir.
You're a racist.
I'm a half Asian. What? Action better in first than second, and story better? It's more like the complete reverse. Ultron was a smucker in this. It is a good action movie, just not as great as the first. Most of you probably didn't understand a fucking thing I said.
Not a damn thing.
I went from like Japanese to Spanish to Japanese to...
Yeah, and then at some point I thought you were going to do like the sumo kind of push me away thing.
7.5. What are you smoking?
Somebody else just said 7.5.
I can see 8 to 9. We'll have to see it a second time, which I will definitely... Which I will with a diff person.
That movie was not a 9 by no circumstance at all. At all. It's not a 9.
Did you mean a deaf person? That movie is really good. I like it a lot.
What's going on the screen? Oh, that's just wrong.
No, I think he meant different person. In Captain America 2, the fight on the boat was a villain from the comics named Buttrock, who is an expert martial artist. I guess it was just a nod to the comic fans.
There you go. See, that's how you pay homage
That's
to
a
the
waste
hardcore.
of time. That's such a waste of time. I completely disagree.
But it satisfies the hardcore people.
I hate nod to the comic fans if it's nothing to do with the rest of the movie.
But it's just a little, hey, how you doing? It wasn't like pertinent to the storyline.
I didn't know. I don't know if you know, but the movie's based on a comic book. That's a pretty big nod to the comic fans.
But I'm just saying, but most people that go see it aren't like hardcore comic book readers. I'm just saying.
It's a comic book movie.
I'm just
I think
saying.
they're nodding pretty fucking good to the comic book fans. No, fight scene stupid. The original Age of Ultron was supposed to be 3 hours long, but Kevin Feige cut it to be just as long as the first one.
Good. No, don't nobody want to see no 3 hour long movie. If you have to make a 3 hour long movie, then just make a second fucking movie.
False. Titanic was 3.5 hours.
Ew.
Lord of the Rings, every single Lord of the Rings was over 3 hours.
Way too long.
No, it's
3
fun.
hours is way too long for a summer blockbuster movie. This is supposed to be an action film.
How dare you call Lord of the Rings?
Hour and a half.
Oh my God.
Hour and a half for summer blockbuster films. If you can't get it all in 90 minutes, then make a second one. Just saying.
Just saying. You can just saying all you want, sir. Lord of the Rings.
See, look.
Lord of the Rings was nice.
Just saying.
I bought the extended edition Lord of the Rings for Blu-ray.
Oh, the 9 hour one?
Like 15 hours,
It's
yeah.
just retarded. You're watching 15 hours
hilarious, good
of some
fun.
damn hobbits walking around with a ring.
It's hilarious, good fun, sir.
Hell no.
I would have enjoyed Ultron being 3 hours if it was an extra half hour of them trying to pick up the hammer.
Oh yeah, that would be funny. The hammer joke was great.
Watching from New Zealand. Thank you, New Zealand.
Hey, New Zealand, what's up?
Spread the love around.
Chase some hobbits.
Oh, well, in New Zealand, can someone from New Zealand please tell me why Australians and New Zealanders don't get along? New Zealanders.
Really?
Why don't they like each other? They hate each other.
Really?
It's almost like...
I thought they were like damn near brothers and
It's
sisters
almost
to
like
each other.
the East Coast, West Coast thing here. It's just like that over there. They hate each other over there.
But how can you have beef with a country that's like 10 times your size? And everything in that country can kill you.
I don't know how East Coast has a problem with us when we're like 10 times cooler than them.
They're jealous of the weather, man. That's what it is.
That's true. I love New York, though. Just started watching this series on your channel, and I love your conversations. GTBT is very entertaining. I appreciate you, Michael Ledesma. Tell me if I'm saying your name right. This is regards to David Hayter. I don't think David is 100% not in the game. I heard a very good theory about how he's being used to voice Big Boss. I'm not really up to date on Metal Gear lore, but they thought it would be weird to have David Hayter voice 2 characters since so he's being used for the other version of himself, if that makes sense to you Metal Gear fans. Here's the thing. In Metal Gear Solid 3, Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops, and Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker,
Okay.
I believe those are all based on Naked Snake or Big Boss, the one that's from Metal Gear Solid 5.
Okay.
And Hayter, from what I understand, voiced all 3 of those. All that to say, Snake is already an older guy in his 40s, like with the Big Boss character. Why did they need... The whole point that Hideo Kojima made was that Snake is older this time, so he wanted an older voice. I'm like, really? David Hayter doesn't sound just as old as Kiefer Sutherland? That's kind of weird. That's some stupid logic there, buddy. Spokane, Washington!
Woo!
Oh, he's saying where he's from.
Yeah,
he's not just stating places. I was going to say Los Angeles, California. Las Vegas, Nevada. I can play that game. Thank you. This is my first time leaving a comment on YouTube, but I have to say I love the show. Very entertaining and informative. Look forward to next episode. By the way, I'm from Inglewood, California, yo.
Yeah, some California love. And you see what happens when you respond, we'll shout you out.
I added the yo in there.
It's because you're racist.
I am racist. Extremely. Kumiko is my second best movie of the year so far, personally. It's an American movie, by the way. It just partly takes place... Parsley? It just partly takes place in Japan. Hello. With some Japanese actors.
Can somebody please tell me what the hell this damn movie's about?
In a nutshell, Kumiko likes to, treasure hunt. Based on the title.
Who the hell is Kumiko?
Kumiko's our main character.
Okay.
She's a Japanese woman, and she likes to treasure hunt, supposedly. The movie starts off with her on a beach, and she goes into a cave and looks under a rock and finds a VHS tape. The VHS tape is Fargo, the movie. And it's an old beat-up version of the tape, and she's watching it and watching it. And a good portion of the movie is her watching it, and she becomes obsessed with the treasure that Steve Buscemi leaves in the snow. And because it says at the beginning of the movie it's a true story, she believes the treasure's still out there. And so she thinks that it was destined for her to pick up. She completely abandons her job, takes her boss's credit card, flies to America to look for this treasure.
Are you for real?
That's what the movie's about.
They really made that into a movie?
It's a true story.
It's a true story?
The details of the movie are false. The details of the movie are an urban legend. The real story is actually way more interesting than the movie. However, the movie it shows that those directors have a lot of potential. I think those directors could be really good. If you watch the shots they did and whatnot, it's an interesting film, the way it was crafted. And there were some funny moments. It was just too fucking long.
This is coming from somebody that wants to see a 3-hour Age of Ultron.
I just want a longer Hammer scene.
I want to get some draws with Captain America and say only the chosen one can pick this up. I thought it was fun.
A lot of fucking chosen ones out there, apparently. I hope this advertisement watering down won't affect Netflix. This is actually a good point. I don't like it when any form of advertising affects storytelling in any form.
I agree with that.
They do advertise in the show, though. There are plugins. There are, what do you call them? They drop in...
They do drops.
But what's that called?
Plugins.
It's not plugin. It's something else. I forgot what they call it. It's
drop
something else.
plugin.
You're just repeating yourself. You're not making this better. Have you watched House of Cards? You watched House of Cards,
I watched House
right?
of Cards.
There's plugins all over that with the video games.
Yeah, but they're subtle.
They're not subtle. I'm playing Call of Duty right now. Can you
the
call
Call
me
of
later?
Duty is also a little bit of a joke because he did the voice for that game as well.
While we're on that, what bothers me a lot is when people are playing video games in movies and they don't know how to play video games. He was playing the game.
But he was actually playing. He knows how to play the game.
No, my friend, no. He was doing some weird shit. I'm like, that's not how you play first-person shooters. He was randomly smudging buttons. I'm like, do you know how to play a game? You carefully look around and fire. Even when you're in the middle of craziness, your hands aren't moving that fast. You know I'm right. Bro, man. I totally agree with Anthony.
Bro, man, what's up, man? You're a constant poster, man. Much love to you, man.
I totally agree with Anthony about letting go of the past entertainers and embrace the good ones that we have in the present. There will be upcoming geniuses in entertainment for us to enjoy. Nostalgia is good, but we need to learn to move on.
You can still move on and
Bitch.
you can still move on and find new entertainment and still pay homages from time to time.
I agree with Anthony. I would rather see new talent than bring back the dead. My only exception to this would be to see Robin Williams as the Riddler.
I don't know about that. Not in this dark and gritty world that we're living in now.
I think Robin Williams actually would have been a pretty killer Riddler.
Not as a Riddler.
Robin Williams knows how to play serious. Have you seen his serious work?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen 1 hour photo.
Yeah, exactly. I won't call it the Jolie effect as much as the hero effect. So real quick, the Jolie effect is not something I coined. That's actually a phrase that the media coined. This is from Tiara N. She's a very, very faithful fan. Thank you, Tiara, for constantly watching and commenting. I don't think there is real sexism in the video game industry. Sure, perhaps sometimes women are looked at with different expectations, but I think it's because it's still pretty unusual for women to be a developer. I think it's just a natural reaction. I do think that usually the women that do get the job are very qualified, and that's going to get questioned when STEM fields are starting to do the whole gender quota thing. I disagree. Sexism is a very strong, prominent thing in the video game industry, in the comic book industry, and in the film industry. Just in general, there is sexism, and it's very, very prominent in our culture. We're much better than we were before. I'd like to think we're better than we were before, but it might just be that everything is more subtle, just like racism is more subtle. Like before, it was pretty clear that people were racist. Black people had their own bathroom. Now, it's all kind of under the surface, and you don't know when someone's actually being sexist or racist.
Maybe just the numbers of women that are trying to become game developers is low because the interest just may not be there. I don't know how many...
Because men are fucking making it so hard for them, in my opinion.
No, I agree. And I think that holds a huge part to it. But how many times have you had a conversation with a young lady and she's talking about becoming a game developer? I've had those conversations with women before, but compared to the vast other types of professions that there are...
That's a really big problem with the society at large. Women from the time they're like... babies are taught to make babies, and men are taught to play with G.I. Joes. This is very, very like kind of just truncating the idea.
Right.
But that's basically how our society operates. Women aren't taught to ask for more money, more raises and whatnot.
Right.
And men are taught to take the hard, tough jobs. Here's why I think sexism is still a problem. Have you ever heard the phrase, she asked for it? She was asking for it.
Yeah, I've heard that dumb phrase.
That's bullshit.
It's retarded. Yeah, it is.
And that's like... You don't say that to a guy who, that's bullshit. Cool. We're done with the comments. Let's move on.
There we go. Bada bing.
Let's get to it, man. My good thing, the Baltimore Riots.
This is a good thing?
This is a good thing.
Oh, wow. We're taking the gloves off early.
A lot of people were like, I don't understand why you would just destroy your own town. Why would you mess up your own city? I don't agree with violent protests and whatnot. First of all, for those of you who are in disagreement with violent protests, that's not the majority of the protests that are happening. There's a lot of peaceful protests that are happening. But the ones that are making headlines are the violent protests because those are the ones that are the most interesting and therefore the most talked about. Now, even with that said, I personally think that we need riots of some kind because only then, when we have riots, does it make headlines and do people sit up and take notice and go, okay, what's going on here? And I'm sure Baltimore, their PR campaign doesn't fucking want riots being what they're known for, even though riots have continually taken place over and over again for other reasons, like sports games and whatnot.
Right.
But it's only when black people have riots that it's a fucking problem for everybody. And so... my whole thing is this. There is a huge, tremendous issue with racism in this country and down there. Only when we have this kind of situation where it's out of hand and crazy and out of control and businesses are suffering, does everyone have to sit up and take notice and go, okay, something needs to be done about this because we don't want this kind of situation on our hands again. We don't want this kind of news headlines for our city, for our home ever again. We don't want our home getting destroyed. So let's all, do some kumbaya here and stop hating each other. So I think riots are a good thing because it makes us aware, as long as no one else is getting killed. Real quick, just for those who are completely oblivious to what the hell we're talking about, can you give us the short rundown, a very, very short rundown about what happened to Freddie Gray?
The police took him into custody, and there's what's called a rough ride. And it's a way of cops to just fuck with people. They throw you in the back of this big paddy wagon, and they handcuff you with your hands tied behind your back, and they don't buckle you into the seat, into the truck. And then they drive around very quickly, taking hard turns, hard stops, so that, you bounce around inside of the back of the paddy wagon. Unfortunately, his neck snapped. And while he was injured, these police officers still decided to do nothing about it.
They had nothing on him. Like there was no valid reason.
Shakedowns happen all the time, though.
And because one of the police were trying to say he had a knife, but it wasn't open. It was in his pocket.
Right.
And then they tried to push this thing like, oh, he's got 19 counts of narcotics possession or something like that, or selling narcotics. I'm like, hold on a second. So you're telling me because someone was like, this is why we're having riots in Baltimore? It's like, yeah, that you're completely missing the point.
Because it happens often.
Right. And it's like, you got to understand, this guy is one of many who was just trying to survive in his city. What would you do when you're desperate?
We should never try and make a saint out of somebody who's done like a criminal activity. But for the most part, what they did to him did not justify his crime that he didn't even commit. His
crime didn't justify what they did.
Right. Should people be punished for their crimes? Absolutely. You should follow the law.
Yeah.
But the manner as to way these officers are going about delivering their justice is absolutely absurd.
Yeah.
For the sake of entertainment, I'm gonna do the counter.
Okay.
Rioting is a bad thing because it should never have to get to that point.
Sure, in an ideal world.
In an ideal world, it should have to get to that point. Rioting is the voice of the voiceless. It's when no other option is being entertained and you're left feeling helpless, so you lash out. People wonder, they're like, well, why are people like burning down their own community? Well, the thing is that if you notice, the police corral people within their own community and they're not going to allow you to pass a certain area so you don't, mess up the good folks' property.
They're treating them like animals.
It's kind of like when kids can't get the attention of their mother or their father, they just lash out, fall on the ground, start having a temper tantrum, and then finally the parent will look down and be like, well, what the hell is going on? Why are you acting a fool? When the kid's been like tugging on your arm the whole time, like, daddy, I had to go pee, daddy, I had to go pee, daddy, I had to go pee, and he's like, well, damn it, shit, let me just tear up some stuff. Now I got your attention, can I go pee?
Yeah.
I hate to equate, the situation to children, but it's the best thing that I can think of for the moment. Right. So there's no other option to communicate. We have a need that needs to be met. I wish it didn't have to get to that point.
Right.
So it's difficult for me to play devil's advocate because I feel
I
so strongly on your end. The people of Baltimore, they did march. They did petition.
Right.
They did write. Yeah. They did everything that you were absolutely supposed to do, and there was zero coverage for it. They even protested outside of one of the Baltimore games, making it very difficult for some of the fans to even leave, just to be like, hey, pay attention to us, somebody. In an ideal world, somebody should take notice of it and make things happen. That didn't happen.
Right.
So if you are powerless, absolutely powerless, what do?
Make some noise.
You make some noise.
Yeah. And what bothers me is people saying, oh, these people are like animals. It's like, how the fuck do you behave when something's making you angry? When someone has been suppressing you your whole fucking life and putting you in a box and saying, this is who you are, these are the stereotypes you need to fulfill, how else are you gonna fucking act?
Yeah, and then what makes me upset about it is that I keep hearing all these reports about property damage and windows being broken. I don't ever hear any counts about violence given to the citizens by the police, the number of people being killed as a result of police misconduct, the injustices that go on. I never hear those numbers. So you're mad because a window got broke, and you're ready to be upset and post all this vile stuff on YouTube and Twitter or whatever it is because some property got damaged. But when this man's back was severed, was broken,
right,
you didn't have anything to say about that.
The thing to me is this. People who have don't need to take because they have. Wealthy people aren't on the street selling crack. They don't
have to.
That's exactly my point. Whereas you're talking about a base of people that have to get by somehow. They have to feed their families somehow.
Yeah, Baltimore has like a African-American community. It's like a 30% unemployment rate.
That's the bigger problem at large that's not being addressed, in my opinion. It's poverty.
Yeah, it's a bunch of bigger problems, bigger than the tree that we see instead of the forest.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of jobs. There's not a lot of opportunity.
Right.
There's idle hands are the devil's plaything is what's commonly said. And people are going to survive by any means.
Exactly.
So and then you want to point your finger and get mad because this person is just trying to get by. Now, all of me saying this does not justify criminal activity. I'm not saying that.
Right.
But I understand the criminal activity is what I'm saying.
Absolutely. What's your good thing?
Oh, wow, a good thing after all that.
Yeah.
all right, so hold on. So we was hanging out last night, man. Somebody had brought up the Finch app. It's the shit talking app. Were you in that conversation?
No,
okay, so there's an app called Finch. And it's on Android. I don't think you can get it on Apple. And the app is that you just randomly, it's kind of like, you just randomly select somebody and their video pops up and you just talk trash to them. My good thing is shit talking apps.
I can't say shit talking.
You can't say shit talking? Okay, hold on. My good thing are apps to belittle other people. Okay, can I start over?
We got to come up with like a short way to truncate that idea. See, my whole thing is when I'm marketing this shit, when I'm putting it out for you guys, it's got to be 2 or 3 words so that I can fit it in the little title. And he comes up with these like soliloquy titles and shit. And
because I can't help it, man. I'm a poet in my speaking. Okay, so the title of this should be Belittling Your Fellow Man.
Okay. All right. I'm going to find another way to fix that, but go ahead.
All right, fine.
I'll change it later on. Go ahead.
You make me sick. Okay, so this app is just like, what's the one where you can like swipe yes or no to people that you want to date or
Tinder.
not? It's like Tinder. So somebody's face pops up on your phone and you've got about 15 seconds in this live video feed to just say the most degrading, retarded, fucked up shit that you possibly can and just talk about them, all right? And then it switches and then you go to the next person and they go back and forth. You both go back and forth. Now, I think this is a good thing because people need to release. All right, you know how some people get upset and they'll go to the gym and maybe hit a heavy bag, or some abusive parents will beat their kids or whatever it is. Some people need an outlet in a positive way, not going around smacking your wife and your kids. So you can go on this app, find somebody that you don't even know, and let them fucking have it, dog.
Oh, complete strangers?
Complete strangers. It's people you don't even know.
Oh.
You'll never see them again. They could be in Timbuktu for all you know, or New York, or Venezuela, or wherever. You're never gonna see these people.
Yeah.
So you see their face, and you know what? You piece of shit. Fuck you and your big ass eyes and everything. Who bred something like you? Just let it go. And then once you get it out your system, then you can go back to being a citizen of the world again.
I found the name. For it.
What is it called?
Spreading hate.
Spreading hate? Spreading hate is a good thing.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's compartmentalized.
I get it. No, that's cool. I see how that's... I'd like the opposite, though.
What, where somebody just sits there and gives you compliments?
You are so pretty, sir.
That's bullshit.
You got some pretty eyes.
Because you know they're lies. Why would you feed into the lie?
I spend all day being mad. I need an app where I can be nice to people.
But that's why. You sit there and you're pissed off, and you see some dude with glasses on, you be like, you four-eyed fucker, fuck you and everything that you represent. He's not going to take it personally because that's what the app is for. But damn it if it might not feel good.
So wait, are they just sitting there looking at you as you dish this at them?
Yes, and it's back and forth. You both go back and forth. I think you got like 15 seconds to just get it out. Go, bam.
Welcome to the future, people. Okay, I concur. That's a good thing.
That's a good thing. It's saving kids from getting from pops.
Right.
It's saving all kinds of crazy stuff, because now he could just vent off of that, or she too, because women do domestic abuse too.
Right. It's funny you should say that. I was in a sociology class a while back, and the teacher had, I don't know if I mentioned this before on the show, the teacher had a call girl for a student, and she said, you know what the one thing is that I'm missing from my life? Because I'm very happy with my life.
Okay.
I'm confident in what I do. I love what I do. But you know what the one thing is that's missing from my life? And he goes, what? And she says, bitching. I can't bitch to anybody.
See? Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah, and
I believe that.
So I get it. I get the app.
You got to let these emotions out, man. We talk about emotions a lot, like some broads. I'll give women one thing.
Like some broads.
You know why women live longer? This is why women live longer.
We're doing a show, see? This is a show that we're doing, see? Look at that broad over there, see?
Yeah, listen to me if you know what's good for you, see? No,
broads.
But you know why women live longer? Because they are able to emotionally release easier than men. That stress does not kill them as quickly as men do.
Unless they're married. Married women live less, dude.
Well, that's because they got to put up with our bullshit.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, because we dump on our wives. I can't stand my job. My boss is an asshole, and fuck these kids.
Exactly.
But now that we've got this venting device,
I like it. That's cool. That's cool. All right, let's go to the bad things. My bad thing is press 2 for Spanish. Ever since I was a kid, this is like a tricky, kind of weird area. People will try to counter me with on using history.
Okay.
But I'm like, here are the facts right now.
Hit me with the facts.
The fact is, we live in America.
Yup.
And it's owned by Americans. This is the United States of
Chinese.
America. Well, shoot, when it's China,
we're not gonna get into all that, but I'm with you. Let's roll.
When it's China, we start speaking Chinese, goddammit. But right now, it's America, and you speak fucking English in this country. I don't care if you're from Mexico, Canada, Venezuela, or Japan. If you come to America, you should speak English.
I agree.
To me, that should be law. That should be dogma as part of the fucking country.
I agree.
But it's not. You go to Koreatown and there's Korean signs. You go to anywhere in California and there's Spanish signs. You pick up the phone to call somewhere and it says press 2 for Spanish. It's like, where's press 3 for Chinese or Fukinese or Japanese? Like, where's the rest of the fucking languages, buddy, you racist fuck? The only reason you're doing that is because there's a lot of Mexicans here.
Well, yeah.
But there's also a lot of Asians. There's just not as many as there are Mexicans. It's not fair. You don't cater to them. To me, you're keeping Hispanics down in a lower area in terms of like the diagram of who, poorest to wealthiest.
Okay.
You're keeping them secluded from everyone else by having that press 2 for Spanish, rather than creating a program where they can easily learn English. You're catering to their ignorance, basically.
Have you ever tried to convince somebody that's real old to change their ways? A lot of these people, a lot of these individuals are like, they're stuck in their ways. They're like 40 plus years old, 50, 60 years old. They're like, listen, I've been speaking Spanish for 60 plus years old. I don't give a damn if I'm
Then don't be a citizen in America.
But they're going to be here anyway.
That's the problem.
And they got money to spend, and people want that money.
I'm all for foreigners coming here. I love the idea of more foreigners coming here. I like that. Don't get it twisted. But if you're going to be here, learn the fucking language.
And I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you completely on that. I'm all about opening the borders. Our country was built on it.
Yes.
Let's bring more people in here. But there are some basic things that need to be done. If you're going to come and be a part of my amazing family called the United States of America, can we please have a method that we can communicate with each other?
Right.
The dominant language here is English. So please do us all a favor.
Yeah.
Do us all a favor and speak English.
Right.
However,
if I go to Japan, I gotta learn Japanese.
I understand.
If I
you're
go
right.
to fucking Canada, I gotta learn Canadese.
You're Canadese. These nuts. Canadese nuts. Wow, that's great. I want a shirt that says a Canadese nuts.
Okay.
See, it all came together. No, but the thing is, all right, so you still got these old heads, though, these old Mexican heads that have been, they're hard to change. Dog, you're hard to change in your ways. You're not even close to your 40s, man.
But if I go to Japan, I'm gonna learn Japanese.
I understand,
If
but
I go
this
to-
is the United States. It ain't Japan, man. People just, it's a money thing. It's not about catering to them.
I think it's a racial thing. I personally think it's some kind of deep-rooted conspiracy theory to keep Mexicans in their place.
Well, there's a lot of that going on. I'll agree with you
I
on
think
that.
so.
There is a lot of that
You
going
know,
on.
because there's a lack of programs in a lot of areas, including that. Why don't we have a way to get people speaking English more easily?
Well, because, okay, there's the fear thing because many of our citizens here aren't real citizens. So, you know, I'm sure it can't be real easy to find an English as a second language class when you got to pull up your paperwork and you're not even a citizen. There's legitimate reasons as to why the bulk of many of our neighbors to the south here don't want to speak the language. And fear of being found out, I'm sure, rates very high on that list.
Right.
So unless we can come out with some way to be like, yo, it's cool for you to unmask yourself and be a part of the general populace so that you can get this English thing rolling. But until that happens, why would you risk being deported just so you can speak the language? When you can come here, work in a Mexican community and never have to deal with any of the other Americans that speak it, earn good money and raise your kids who can speak English and then it can translate for you. It's just easier that way.
Yeah, but it's a selfish thing.
It is a selfish thing, but it's a survival thing.
I guess. I really don't follow what you're saying, though. Like, I listen to your whole thing, and I'm like listening, I'm not processing it.
So I'm just saying, it's easier to just not learn the language because in order to take the steps to learn the language, it's fear of exposure.
But I would think you'd be more easily exposed if a cop walks up to you and says, "What's your name?" and he goes,
You're gonna be
no.
exposed because you brown skin.
All right. And then the whole thing in Arizona was fucked up. You remember the whole thing in Arizona? If they thought you were...
Oh yeah, you had to show your papers,
You had to show
your papers
if
per se.
Right, if they thought you were an illegal immigrant, they could ask for your papers, just straight up.
That's just retarded.
That was stupid.
Yeah, and they're like, it's not profiling. Then how the fuck are you gonna know?
What would you call that exactly?
Yeah, exactly.
When you're asking for their profile.
You know my solution?
What?
Because you know me, I'm always big on fixing the country's infrastructure because our country infrastructure is a piece of shit. It's terrible. It's all the way dated.
All right.
I think they should open up a jobs program so that you can fix the infrastructure, everything from roads to setting up internet to all the things that we need to get the basic form of this country up together and running in exchange for citizenship and learning English. That way we can get work from the people, they can become citizens and be tax-paying citizens, and you have to learn the language if you want the job, and it should be a very good paying job.
Okay, I agree with that. Cool. Good
Syntell for president. Yeah. I'm just saying.
Your skin's gonna get gray if you become president, dude.
I'm good on that. I do not want those type of problems.
What's your bad thing?
I got another app, man. It's another one that's in China. That's right now. And the app is this. Imagine having an Uber hitman.
What?
Yeah, this is a very real thing. It's an app that allows you to contact somebody to do your wet work. Or in other words, my bad thing is Uber Hitmen. Say we're in the park and somebody muscles us and gives us a shoulder bump or whatever and talks trash and walks away. I can go to my phone and be like, click, take a picture of the guy where I'm at and be like, I need somebody to beat the shit out of this guy for like $30.
Why is this a bad thing? shocking.
This is a bad thing,
Why?
man. Because you know why? This is why it's a bad thing. Because you're gonna get into an argument with your lady, and she's gonna be tipping back wine all night with her girls, talking about fuck him. He don't know what he's talking about. Fuck him. You know what? Let's fuck him up. Boop. His name is Anthony. He stay at blah 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 blah, and I got $50. How much damage can you do to him for $50? That's way too much access for vendettas, man. That's a super slippery slope. And the thing is that there was a guy who had heard about it and he tested it out, and he found some guy like in a park and was like, I got $30. What can you do? And the guy hit him back, gave him an undisclosed number for him to call, and he listed out the amount of damage he can do per every $10 or whatever it is. It was a real thing. So they took the app down. Just because that one got taken down doesn't mean more won't pop up.
Right.
But it could be a good thing that dude cuts you off. You take a picture of
Yes!
his...
Yes!
You take a picture of his
Yes!
license plate. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes. Find that motherfucker.
Oh, fuck me?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck me?
Yeah. Everyone will be really fucking nice to each other on the road. Because ain't nobody gonna be flipping nobody off.
Yeah. If you play the odds and it like really catches on, you're gonna be walking to your car one day, just lovey-dovey, all happy, and yay, everything is great. And it's gonna be some dude sitting out there putting on some gloves, tightening them up, looking at you, giving you eye contact, and you're gonna be like, fuck. Who did I piss off? See, that's what I'm saying. That's the bad part of it.
But I think everyone's gonna be really nice to each other if we do that.
There's gonna be a lot of examples.
It's gonna be a really scary
It's gonna
world.
be real ugly. And my thing is, it's like, dog, you'll fuck somebody up for like $50? That's kind of cheap.
Imagine that, like you're about to. It's gonna make you look at everything in a new light. It's gonna make you really see reason much quicker.
Oh yeah, because when people start pulling their phones out, you're gonna get quiet real quick.
Exactly.
You could be like,
did I call you bitch? I meant you're beautiful.
Yeah, bitch. No. I'm a dog breeder.
Yes.
And we call our bitches and our other.
I didn't say bitch. I said itch. It's an itch.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, you don't need to put like a $200 hit on me.
Oh man, and they can have like a whole program for poor people who can't really afford it.
for 3 payments of $10.99, we'll stomp your ex out twice a week, every week, for the low payment. Oh man, that's what I'm saying, man. You can get a Groupon for it.
Oh, it's gonna expire.
Like,
it's gonna expire tomorrow.
We gotta fuck somebody up real quick. I got 8 hours left.
All right. Okay. So here we go. Bonus round. This is both a good thing and a bad thing.
Okay. Hit me with it.
The death penalty. I'm of two minds about this. This is why it's a good and a bad thing. When you've got sick, twisted people in the world, like I just read the article that the guy who did the Aurora shooting, his trial is just getting started. Just getting started. And you look at this guy, and he's got this fucking smile on his face, and I'm just like, I want to reach through the screen and choke him. It just makes me so fucking mad.
All right.
And they want to give him the death penalty. My initial instinct is, no, don't give him the death penalty. Make his ass fucking rot in jail for years and years.
Right.
And I hope life extension comes so we can make it longer. It just, you know what I'm saying? But there's multiple facets to this, because there's another part of me that goes, well, there are people who are sick that need to be nursed to good health mentally.
Okay.
Because we've got, psychology issues in our country that aren't addressed. We don't do psychology exams for people who are buying guns. It's like you go to a bank in Michigan, you can get a gun when you open a checking account.
Yeah, they give you like the rifle.
Yeah,
I heard about that. Yeah.
So the other thing is looking at it from the grand perspective, from a bird's eye or God's eye view, whatever you want to call it. We got a lot of people, and keeping people in jail is expensive. Just getting rid of them is a cheap way to keep down the expenses.
I was with you until you went there. But
you might not agree with me. No. But Glaken does.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I don't know if he does.
No, see, okay, all right. I'm with you with the death penalty in some cases, but the problem is that it gets to a slippery slope. The majority of most crimes are drug related.
Did you know in Texas they were trying to employ the death penalty on retards? I'm serious.
That's stupid because then they don't even know what they're dying for.
Right.
That's when you start getting into the mental health issues and all that
Right.
stuff. And
Mental health. That's
of mice of men type shit.
Right.
And you got George.
But,
in the
okay, but
back
why do you disagree with the death penalty?
Because you're gonna be killing people that don't need to die. Most people in prison aren't there for like violent crimes. They're there for like drug offenses.
Right, but then they're just rotting in jail. What are they doing with their time?
Say the dude from the school shooting. Getting life for him is way worse than getting the death penalty because when you give him the death penalty, you're releasing him.
Right.
You're moving him on to the next level or whatever that is, and he gets a free get out of jail pass.
Right. Timothy McVeigh opted for the death penalty after 6 years in prison. And I'm like, why does he get the choice?
I think there should be a method of either keeping people there for life that do very heinous crimes or some type of rehabilitation for people that did crimes out of passion. But there are going to be those few.
Yeah.
There are going to be those few people that don't serve a purpose in society anymore. And the only way that we can move forward is to eliminate them. I think that's very small, very, 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 very teeny tiny. It has to be very, very extreme circumstances.
Yeah, but I dated a couple of girls that go in that category.
Yeah. See, that's the thing.
But you know what? I'll go with that Uber Hunter person for that shit. Beat this bitch up.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying, man. All you need is the app to solve all your problems.
Exactly. I gotta watch my back if that shit becomes legal in America.
I'm telling you.
I pissed off a lot of people.
All right, my good thing is Tom Cruise.
I would venture that this is a bonus good and bad thing. I'll speak for the bad.
Oh, you speak for the bad.
Yeah,
okay.
go ahead.
In case you've been living under a rock, Mission Impossible 5 is coming out. And there's a scene where Tom Cruise is hanging on to the side of an airplane as the airplane is taking off. And if you see the trailer initially, at least me, I was like, oh, wow, that looks incredible. And then you're like, oh, okay, well, that's CG. That's a blue screen or whatever. Nah, no, not Tom Cruise. Yeah. He was like, fuck all that. I'm doing that shit for real. No, and he did.
When I saw that trailer, I knew exactly what happened there.
I heard it was like 5 to 8 takes. They said the wind was so strong, he had to wear specialized contact lenses just so he can open his eyes so the camera can get a good idea of who the person is so you can connect with it.
Right. Here's the thing about Tom Cruise. I know his history for stunts and whatnot, and he takes big chances like that. Which I completely disagree with. Completely disagree with. Then in Mission Impossible 2, there is a fight scene on the beach. This guy stabs down at him to his eye. And John Woo wasn't happy with the shot. And he was just like, something's weird about this. And Tom Cruise was like, you want it in my eye, or you want it like right up to my eye, right? And John Woo's like, yeah. He's like, do it. Do it. And so they had to put in this whole contraption and whatnot so that the guy who was stabbing down, his hand was stopped by some kind of super like thick steel cord. So it was like the knife was like this close to his eye. And you see it in the movie, you're like, ooh, that's crazy. But I'm like, why? Why does it have to be a real fucking knife? Why not make it some kind of animated effect?
Because it's too close up, man. Have you've seen like the rubber knives. Obviously, you've done your own choreography and stuff like that. It does not look like a real knife at all.
It's not worth it, man. It's not worth it. It's not worth your life. It's not worth your eyeball. Like, what if something went wrong? Look,
right. But the thing is, okay, this is a man who's trying to perfect his craft as an actor.
That's nothing about craft.
Boxers go into the ring risking their lives.
You laying there and
NASCAR drivers go into the car risking their lives.
You laying there and hoping the knife doesn't stab you in the eye has nothing to do with craft. That's you being a dickhead.
Well, no, that's you trying to make it real. That's trying to be in the moment.
It's a movie called Mission Impossible, where people jump off motorcycles and fly into each other. It's not going to be real.
We live in a world where we've had Star Wars episodes 1 through 3 kind of crammed down our throat, and we wonder why we're having a hard time connecting with the actors. And the reason why we have a hard time connecting with the actors is because they're looking at a green screen the entire time. As an actor, it's impossible. Well, it's not impossible. It's extremely difficult for you to emote with something that doesn't exist.
Good actors can.
Good actors can. But even after a while, it's still not going to be the same.
Right.
It's not going to be the same. Like me having this conversation with you and the passion that I'm having with it is because I can see your eyes, I can see your breathing, you're here in front of me. Yeah. All that reads, even on a subconscious level. Yeah. You take that away, the way I'm talking to you now is going to be completely different. Tom Cruise in order for him to make his craft as realistic as possible, he has to take it to the next level. That fear that he has on his face, that shit is real. And it should be real. That's insane. Him doing that thing in Dubai where he was jumping off of the building, and then in Mission Impossible 2 where he's doing the rock climbing and he's hanging off of the edge, and now he's strapped himself to the side of a damn C-42 or whatever the hell it is 5 to 6 different times. What you see is real.
Yeah.
And if you see real recognizes real. And if you're in the audience and you see that look of terror on his face, you should be moved.
Right. Tom Cruise, he's balls to the wall.
Tom Cruise don't mess around,
Even to the simple things. In Mission Impossible 1, there was this cool little stunt he did where he climbed a fence and kind of flipped over it. Mm-hmm. And you see him walk off, and I'm like, how did he do that?
And he's an old man, too.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the other thing. He's getting up there in age, man. So would you rather see those type of stunts or the green screen stunts?
I'd rather him do green screen. Me personally, I don't want him taking chances with his life.
As much money as he's getting paid to make these movies, if I'm making $15 to $20 million a movie, or if I'm going to see a movie where somebody's getting paid $15 to $20 million per movie, earn that shit.
Yeah, you don't get to spend that if you die. It's like it's over. It's what if the camera?
That's the cost for you getting that check is the risk. That's the cost. If I'm going to spend my money, my summertime blockbuster money, and you're that actor, earn it. Earn it. It's one thing, like we complain and stuff about how much these actors get, and let's just say, I don't know, I'm a huge Will Smith fan, but let's just say Will Smith is getting $25 million to do a film, a buddy friend movie, and all he does is laugh around and chum it up with his homie for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I don't really feel like he's worth that for that. But if Tom Cruise is strapping himself to the side of an airplane for $15 million in that movie, I'm like, hell yeah, you earned that check. Yeah. I don't feel bad. If something tragic happened to Tom Cruise, I would feel bad. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't lose sleep because you were paid that amount of money and that was the risk that you took. It didn't end in your favor, but that's the risk you took. Stuntmen make a fraction of that money, a fraction, and they risk it all. So if a $15 million man gets hurt, I'm not going to drop a lot of tears. You earned it. You earned it, buddy.
I can't get on board with that, man. I can't get on board with it. Like, Jackie Chan is like permanently damaged in so many different places.
He's got to be. There's no way he could be an old man and walk correctly.
Right. I mean, but he came from a different time when we didn't have the level of visual effects that we have now. We're resourceful enough now that we can make everything look real. So that's why I'm just like, I'm not so much on the... I'm all for prolonging your life. As you know me, as much as possible, prolong your life.
All right, so somebody offered you $20 million.
I'm not doing that stunt.
You're not doing that stunt. You would strap yourself to the side of an airplane.
Maybe I would, because it sounds kind of awesome doing it.
It does sound awesome. But everything Tom Cruise does is fucking awesome.
Right. But I'm not going to do the knife thing to the eye. That's bullshit.
Even though you know they've done it a million times.
Not doing it.
Every single time.
Nope.
20 million.
Nope.
20 million for 30 seconds of your time. 30 seconds. 20 million.
I wouldn't do it for $1 billion. I'm not going to let people put their fucking knife near my eye.
For $1 billion, you can gouge that shit out with a spoon. I'll buy me a glass eye and that shit'll be sexy.
I will sit there while you scoop it out with the spoon.
I have a glass eye and that shit'll say Syntell all the way across. And I'll be like, I'm a Billy, baby. I'm a Billy.
It was worth it. Bitch, where'd you go? Go in front of my good eye.
No, you don't get on my dark side now. I gotta see where you at. No, you still got another bad. No,
that's it. It was the bonus round is good and bad.
Oh.
Yeah. Syntell doesn't know how the program works because I made it up on the fly.
We just rolling with it. I'm like, we Tom Cruising and we just going.
Exactly. Thank you guys so much for watching our show. I hope you like this new format. Let us know in the comments if you prefer the shorter shows or the longer shows where we split up the comments and then have the show in another thing that's like only a half hour long. I'm a guy who likes to experiment with stuff and see how it works, and you know, I want to see what people like.
Hey, and as you all know, if you guys are late, we love the comments because we actually respond back. Yeah. If there's a trailer or a video game or whatever it is that you would like us to respond to, put the link in. So it makes it easier for us to find, and you know, who knows? We'll talk about it.
Just as a FYI, I read every single comment. Even if I don't respond, I read every comment. And I really appreciate you guys telling me where you're from when you leave a comment, even if it's just where you're from, Spokane, Washington, New Zealand. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. That's it. I am Jabby Kaway.
And it's your boy, Syntell.
Peace out.